Welcome back to Animal Notebook. I am so excited you're joining us today because we're looking at a creature that is, well, basically the bird world's attempt at a walking luxury brand. In today's explainer, the peacock, painted by nature, we are unpacking the science, the myths, and the surprisingly gritty reality behind one of the most visually stunning animals on the planet. Let's get right into it.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap. We're going to clear up some terminology, decode the secrets behind that famous tale, look at their shockingly savage diet, walk through the courtship dance, and then wrap things up with 4 rapid-fire FAQs. Sound good? Let's dive in.
Let's meet the majestic peafowl and sort out some basic terminology that, honestly, almost everybody gets wrong.
So technically, the overarching species name is actually peafowl. They're part of the pheasant family. The word peacock, that strictly refers to just the adult male. The female is a peahen, and the babies are peachicks. Now look, humanity has totally ignored these distinctions for centuries because, well, accuracy is hard and peacock is just catchier. But for the sake of this explainer, we're going to try to get it right.
Take a look at this classic Indian peafowl just chilling in a tree. It's kind of wild to think he belongs to the pheasant family, right? They are actually among the absolute largest of all pheasants. To put it in perspective, adult males can weigh up to 13 pounds and measure a massive 7 feet long when you include the full plumage. That is a big bird.
Moving on to Section 2, decoding the famous train. Prepare yourselves because I'm about to completely shatter an illusion you've probably held on to since childhood.
Here's the big myth. Everyone thinks the peacock is dragging around this giant set of tail feathers. The fact? Those aren't his actual tail feathers at all. Nope. They are highly elongated upper tail coverts. His true tail is actually way shorter and much stiffer, and it hides right underneath to basically act as a structural prop for that massive 5-foot-long shimmering cape when he puts it on display. And the collars on those coverts? Pure physics. The shimmering blues, the greens, the golds, they aren't made from chemical pigments or feather dye, not at all. They are created by these microscopic, light-scattering structures embedded right into the feathers themselves. The color literally shifts and transforms depending on the angle of the light. It's structural iridescence, and it is absolutely brilliant.
But let's step away from the red carpet glamour for a second and hit Section 3, diet, habitat, and behavior. Because as it turns out, their day-to-day life is way more gritty and opportunistic than you'd expect from royalty.
In the wild, peafowl are incredibly adaptable. They love hanging around riverbanks, forest edges, and open scrublands. They're native to South Asia and parts of Africa, but they've totally figured out how to thrive alongside us humans too, happily roaming around agricultural areas, grand estates, and temples.
And their diet? They are complete opportunists. They're omnivores who spend their days just scratching at the dirt. Sure, they'll eat seeds, grains, berries, and bugs, but they also have a seriously savage side. They actively hunt small reptiles, little mammals, and yes, snakes. Think about that. This beautiful, walking theatrical performance is out there routinely hunting and eating snakes. Wild, right? Also, if you have ever lived near them, you know for a fact they are not quiet neighbors. Their voices are incredibly loud. We're talking harsh warning cries, aggressive territorial calls, and these piercing squawks. It's a hilarious contrast to how elegant they look. Nature definitely has a sense of humor.
Speaking of dramatic performances, let's jump into Section 4, the courtship dance. This is essentially nature's flashiest dating app, where all that evolutionary engineering really gets put to the test.
When spring rolls around, males set up these small territories called leks, and when a female approaches, it is showtime. Step 1. He fans those massive coverts out into a giant shimmering wall. Step 2. He violently shakes and vibrates the feathers to create this deep, completely mesmerizing rustling sound. And Step 3. He constantly turns and pivots to make sure she gets the absolute perfect lighting angle. The crucial point here? She is watching this whole spectacle to judge the sheer symmetry, size, and health of his display before making any decisions.
You can really see what she's evaluating here. The peahen, who by the way, is practically camouflaged in dull browns and greens to keep her future nest safe, is staring down a literal wall of metallic eye spots, known as ocelli. The rule is simple. The more eye spots he has, and the more perfectly symmetrical they are, the better his chances.
All right, as we bring this explainer in for a landing, let's hit our final segment, Section 5, Peacock FAQs. We're doing a rapid-fire breakdown of the top 4 questions people always ask.
FAQ number 1. With a 5-foot train weighing them down, can peacocks actually fly? Honestly, it feels like physics just shouldn't allow it.
But the answer is yes, they totally can. Now, okay, it is not a graceful, soaring, majestic flight. It's much more of a loud, frantic burst of energy. But they are absolutely strong enough to launch themselves vertically up into high tree branches to roost at night. And that's absolutely crucial for avoiding ground predators like tigers, leopards, and wild dogs.
Moving to FAQ number 2. How long do these stunning birds actually live?
There's a really massive variance here. Out in the wild, battling the elements and constantly dodging predators, a peafowl might live 10 to 15, maybe 20 years. But in captivity, with a safe environment and proper vet care, they can easily hit 25 years or more.
FAQ number 3. What do you actually call a group of peafowl? Like, we all know a group of crows is a murder, but what about these guys?
The terms are just brilliant. You can call them a muster, a party, or, and this is my personal favorite, an ostentation. An ostentation of peafowl. Seriously, has there ever been a more perfectly accurate group name for an animal this ridiculously over the top? I don't think so.
And finally, FAQ 4. Are peafowl endangered out in the wild?
Well, it really depends on the exact species. The iconic Indian peafowl, the blue one we've spent most of our time looking at today, is classified as least concern. Their populations are super stable. But the African Congo peafowl is currently vulnerable, and the incredibly stunning green peafowl from Southeast Asia, they are actually classified as endangered due to some pretty severe habitat loss and hunting.
Which brings us to the end of our journey today. Next time you see a peacock putting on its grand walking theatrical performance, ask yourself, what is it hiding behind that beautiful facade? Because it's not just a pretty face. Behind that physics-defying beauty is a loud, incredibly adaptable, snake-eating survivor that has literally conquered habitats across the globe. Thank you so much for joining me on Animal Notebook. Keep observing, keep questioning, and I will catch you in the next explainer.